Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you again for being here. So today we're going to get into something that I don't have a whole lot of experience with. And as you can see, that is a stand-on compact track steer. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was very leery at first, kind of unsure about how this would go, because I know it's a very different feel and view when you're operating the machine from a standard track steer that I'm used to, you know, the full frame, full size, whether it be like the JCB or the NDI 680 with the boom offset to one side, or, you know, the standard track steer, skid steer with the twin arms and center cab configuration where you sit down. That's what I'm used to. This was a change. It's a very different animal, and I'm actually really impressed with this. This is day 2, to be upfront. This is day 2 of using the machine. So the first day, which I'll throw a time lapse in, you can see that there's learning going on there, and it's trying to feel out the machine, which is fine. That takes time. It takes time to learn a new machine, and every machine runs just a little bit differently, so that's all right. Don't be afraid of that. I'm certainly not afraid of it. But so far, I really enjoy it. This is a diesel version. This is not a gas version. It does have the pilot controls, which I like. Definitely not an H pattern or a foot control guy. To you operators that run those, kudos to you. Keep it up. Pass that knowledge down to someone else. You guys are legends. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I don't know why, but ISO controls, that's my jam. So kudos to you guys. So what we're going to do is we'll do a quick little walk around, and I'm going to show you one of the tools that I use to grade an area, especially like the one we're in. We're inside a building here. We're just doing a quick rough grade before gravel comes in. But I have two tools, well, two of the same tools to help me learn a new machine. Again, they work differently, they feel different, they have different power outputs and things like that. So don't be afraid to go back to your roots on what you've learned, whether you think it's like an old school thing or what have you. Pull that knowledge back out of the vault and apply it every time you get on a machine, a different machine, whether even if it's a different manufacturer, same thing, different manufacturer, whether it's this JoyT5 or it's a Bobcat or a Vermeer or any of the other, let's call them Chinese brand machines. It doesn't matter. You can always use this trick that I'll show you to help you grade better and better understand the machine, because you get a visual as well as a feeling. There are a lot of operators out there that tell you, oh yeah, I can feel it in the seat, or I can feel it in my knees, or, you know, you got the left and right and the front and the back. Until you know what that feels like after hours and hours and hours of being on the machine, it's always good to have a visual aid, and that's what this is. That's what this little trick is. So with that, we'll do a quick walk around, and then we'll get on to finishing up our task for today here. Let's do this. All right. This layout might be familiar to some people, might not be, but again, this is a compact track steer with a Kubota diesel engine. Fairly common, I would say, as you research these track steers, get with the layout of the boom, the operator station, hydraulic tank on one side, diesel on the other, controls up top, engine in under that cover there. We'll give you a quick picture or a quick shot of that, and then just standard, you know, pins for the quick attach on the bucket end. So again, hydraulic tank. This platform here, this is one of the hardest things that I found to get used to, was that this bounces up and down when you're on it. because it's sprung. Coming around the back side here, so water temp, fuel, hour meter, battery light, engine oil, engine under speed. I think that's water temp, and that one's glow plugs. Headlight switch, key, throttle, aux, battery switch, diesel tank, tag, identification tag, and then just a mirror image of the other side. On this side though, a little different from the other side. So that's got the bucket tilt or lines. This has the 3 lines for your auxiliary hydraulics. And we'll pop this open, take a quick little, see if I remember how to do this. Come on, there it is. Flip and up. Have to forgive, she's a little dusty, she's been working. So there you see your air filter, one of the fuel filters, or sorry, both of the fuel filters, and the fuel water separator, the engine oil fill on the top of the Kubota there. What Kubota is that? It's a D1105. Yeah, somewhere I'll put in the horsepower and torque specs for you. Nice big muffler. The pumps down there, and then the battery is way down there. As well as way back there is your wiring and your coolant overflow tank. So all things that I would call fairly standard for a, stand-up track steer. I will say this though, after the first day of using this machine, a 4-in-1 bucket would be the ticket. A 4-in-1 tooth bucket would be the ticket on these machines. That being said, because I like to grade with a blade, I've been, I guess, I use a dozer 6-way blade more frequently than not for grading, so that's something I've become accustomed to. I know on these machines it's probably an option at some point, or from some manufacturer of attachments, but not everybody's going to buy one, and I'd imagine they're a hefty chunk of change, which is fair. So we'll teach you how to grade, or the trick that I'm going to show you is will help you. Holy, I should learn English. The technique I'll show you will help you grade with a bucket instead of a blade, because this is what we got to use. We've got a flat bucket. That's all I have for an attachment on this, which is fine. You can do lots with a bucket. There are guys that they have years and years and years and years of running track steers, and all they use is a bucket. Props to them. I'm a 6-way blade guy. Call me lazy, call me whatever you like, but that's my preference, is a 6-way blade. So I'll show you that trick, or the tools to use that trick. Alright, so up here on the operator's platform, you'll see we have a torpedo level there, and we have a torpedo level there. So this one gives us our side to side, right? Quick visual representation of side to side. Bubbles in the middle, we're good to go. We look down quickly here, we can see this is our front to back, right? So right now the front is up. So we need to bring the front back down to be level. But this is essentially the gyroscopes from the new machines. Everybody goes on about these new machines having all these computers and screens and stuff. Well, this is all they are. It's just 2 levels. They use a singular gyroscope to, for the whole thing, and they give it to you in degrees. But if you're just learning and you're running a machine like this, or even a small excavator, you can take one of these torpedo levels on the excavator and mount it to the crossbar in front of you by your foot controls for the tracks, and it'll tell you how level you are on side to side, because that dictates how square your bucket's going to cut. And same here. So something to remember with these machines, and we'll get off here and show you, is the ground that the tracks are sitting on. Both tracks. The ground that the tracks are on dictates what the bucket is going to do, not the other way around. So if you have an area that you know is grade, and then you sit the tracks on that area, you put the bucket down, make sure your bubbles on the levels are all lined up, and you start pushing. As long as your bubbles are lined up, you should be able to carry the grade. Now, because we have a laser level here, I can take our stick of destiny and I can check the grade all the way along and check your work, or my work. And don't be afraid to check your work. Always, always, always check your work. It'll help you learn. It seems tedious, and grading is tedious, and grading takes time. But check your work, and you will do a better job every time, and you will learn how the machine feels every time you do that, and you'll get better and better and better and better to the point where you won't need to have the levels on, but still check your grade, or space out how often you check your grade. Very, very important that you start slow, take your time. I know I repeat that a bunch, but take your time. Don't get frustrated. If you are getting frustrated, shut the machine down, walk away, go get a coffee or water or whatever, clear your head, come back and start again. You're supposed to enjoy this, have fun, especially if you're like a property owner or an acreage owner, or you're just using this around for essentially recreational purposes. You're supposed to enjoy it. So help yourself enjoy it by, coming in with a clean, clear head and a calm demeanor, and start from there. So with that quick walk around, quick overview, as well as a more detailed view of the levels here and why they're here and what they do, let's get on this machine, get her started, and let's get to work here and get it done. All right, we'll see you there. So with this area roughly graded, we'll have them come in, take a look, see if that's all they wanted done. If they wanted more done, we'll jump back on the machine and get it. Closing thoughts on this machine. Still, the 4-way bucket with the teeth is just a major thing. If you're only going to buy one of these machines and have the smooth edge bucket or the cleanup bucket, however you want to call it, you're not going to go far. Having those teeth and having that ability to dig is going to be a big plus. I would like to see a little more weight on the tail. Now, I do know that's kind of an option. It's been talked about with other brands, and I believe the JoyT5 guys have talked to Ripa about that as well. So I think that's coming on the next model. This is a 2024, I believe. So the new ones are already out for 2025, 2026. I'm impressed with it for the most part. As you can see, I am head to toe dust because we've been inside, and the radiator, that engine fan definitely doing its thing. Didn't heat up while it was inside, which was nice. You know, for the most part, I'm impressed. I would consider one as a tag along to a 3-ton at most, but I think the 2-ton or the 1.5-ton would be the best fit with this as a kind of a companion machine. Or you could just run this by itself. Either or, whatever your plans are. That's just my thoughts on it. So we're going to wrap that up there, or should I say, wrap that up here. And we got a couple little things to clean up here and there, but short of that, we're done in here. So thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one. You take care out there.